Welcome to Unfiltered Reflections. I'm your host, Passion, and today we're diving into something that touches every single one of us, whether we realize it or not, our mental health. You know, it's funny, we talk about physical health all the time, right? We brag about our workouts, complain about a cold, or show off a band-aid. But when it comes to our minds, it's like we put up this invisible wall. It's often whispered about, sometimes ignored, and far too often misunderstood. But here's the truth. Maintaining good mental health isn't just a nice to have. It's absolutely essential for our overall well-being, for how we live, how we love, and how we navigate this wild ride called life. And let me tell you, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Mental health is complex. It's multifaceted. It's personal. What feels good for one person might be totally different for another. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to explore what mental health really means, how to spot the signs when things might be going sideways, and most importantly, what we can actually do to heal, cope, and even thrive, even when things get tough. Understanding the landscape of your mind. First off, let's try to wrap our heads around what mental health even is. It's not just about whether or not you have a diagnosed mental illness. Nope. It's so much more than that. Think of it as your mind's overall state of being. It's your emotional, psychological, and social well-being all rolled into one. It affects everything. How you think, how you feel, how you act. It shapes how you handle stress, how you interact with your friends, family, and even strangers, and how you make choices, big or small, every single day. So having good mental health isn't just the absence of illness. It's a positive, active state of mind where you can generally function, cope, and find joy. Now, when we talk about mental health, it's helpful to think about it in different dimensions, almost like different rooms in a house. You need all of them to be in decent shape for the whole house to feel like a home. First, there's emotional well-being. This is about your ability to manage your feelings, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Can you experience joy, sadness, anger, and fear without being completely overwhelmed by them? Can you bounce back from disappointments? It's about emotional resilience, not emotional numbness. It's okay to feel. It's about how you process those feelings. Then we have psychological well-being. This is more about your cognitive processes, your thoughts, your perceptions, your ability to learn and solve problems. Do you have a sense of purpose? Can you make decisions? Do you have a generally positive outlook on yourself and your life? It's about your mental clarity and your ability to engage with the world intellectually. Next up, social well-being. Humans are social creatures, right? Even the most introverted among us needs some form of connection. Social well-being is about your ability to form and maintain healthy relationships, to feel connected to your community, and to contribute to something bigger than yourself. It's about belonging and feeling supported. And finally, a dimension that often gets overlooked, but is profoundly important for many spiritual well-being. Now, this isn't necessarily about religion, though it can be. Spiritual well-being is about finding meaning and purpose in your life. It's about your values, your beliefs, and feeling connected to something larger than yourself, whether that's nature, humanity, or a higher power. It gives you a compass, a sense of direction. When these four areas are relatively balanced and healthy, that's when you're truly rocking your mental game. But what happens when one of these rooms starts to get a little dusty? Or worse, completely falls apart? The subtle whispers, recognizing the signs. So how do we know when our mental health needs a little extra TLC? This is super crucial, because often the signs aren't as dramatic as we might see in movies. They're often subtle whispers before they become shouts. And let's be clear, everyone's experience is unique. What might be a red flag for one person could just be a bad day for another. But there are some common indications that, if they persist, might suggest a deeper mental health concern. Think about these: persistent sadness or mood changes. We all have bad days, but if you're feeling down, empty, or irritable most of the time, for weeks on end, and it's affecting your ability to enjoy things you once loved, that's a sign. Or maybe you're experiencing extreme highs and lows that feel out of control. Withdrawal from social activities. Remember how we talked about social well-being? If you find yourself pulling away from friends, family, or activities you used to enjoy, even when you know you should probably go, it could be a sign you're struggling. It's more than just needing alone time. It's an inability or unwillingness to connect. Changes in appetite or sleep patterns. Are you suddenly eating way more or way less than usual? Are you sleeping constantly or hardly at all? These physical changes are often direct reflections of what's happening internally. Insomnia or hypersomnia can be huge indicators. Difficulty concentrating or making decisions, feeling foggy, can't focus at work or school, simple decisions feel monumental. This cognitive slowdown can be a symptom of various mental health challenges. Increased irritability or anger. If you find yourself snapping at loved ones, feeling constantly on edge, or having outbursts that seem disproportionate to the situation, it might be your mind telling you it's overwhelmed. Unexplained physical ailments. Sometimes our mental distress manifests physically. Headaches, stomach aches, chronic pain that doctors can't find a cause for. These can sometimes be linked to stress, anxiety, or depression. Feelings of hopelessness or worthlessness. If you start to feel like there's no point, or that you're a burden, or that things will never get better, these are incredibly serious signs that require immediate attention and support. If you notice a combination of these signs and they're sticking around for a while, please consider it a signal. Just like a check engine light in your car, it's not saying panic, it's saying check under the hood. The path forward, strategies for healing and well-being. Okay, so you've recognized some signs, maybe in yourself or someone you care about. Now what? This is where we shift from identifying the problem to empowering ourselves with solutions. Promoting healing and well-being for your mental health is an active process, and it often involves a combination of approaches. First and foremost, and I cannot stress this enough, seek professional help. Just as you'd go to a doctor for a broken bone, a mental health professional, a therapist, counselor, psychiatrist, is trained to provide guidance tailored to your specific needs. They can offer a safe space to talk, help you understand what you're experiencing, and equip you with coping mechanisms and strategies. There's absolutely no shame in it. In fact, it's a sign of incredible strength to acknowledge you need support. Beyond professional guidance, there are powerful self-care activities you can integrate into your daily life. Think of these as your daily mental health vitamins. Prioritize sleep seriously. It's not a luxury, it's a biological necessity. Aim for consistent, quality sleep. Your brain literally cleans itself while you sleep, and a lack of it can wreak havoc on your mood and cognitive function. Move your body. Regular physical exercise isn't just for your muscles. It's a phenomenal mood booster. It releases endorphins, reduces stress hormones, and can even improve sleep. You don't need to run a marathon. A brisk walk, dancing in your living room, or some gentle yoga can make a huge difference. Nourish your body. What you eat affects how you feel. A balanced diet rich in whole foods, fruits, and vegetables can support brain health. Try to limit processed foods, excessive sugar, and unhealthy fats. Engage in joyful activities. What makes your heart sing? Reading, painting, playing music, gardening, spending time in nature, cooking, whatever it is. Make time for it. These activities provide a sense of purpose, relaxation, and pure enjoyment, which are vital for your emotional well-being. Practice mindfulness and meditation. Even just a few minutes a day can help you anchor yourself in the present moment, reduce rumination, and cultivate a sense of calm. There are tons of free apps and guided meditations available. Remember, these are not quick fixes. They are consistent practices that build resilience over time. It's about building a mental health toolkit, piece by piece. The healing journey, stages of transformation. Healing, especially from mental health challenges, isn't a straight line. It's more like a winding, sometimes bumpy, road. But there are general stages that many people experience, and understanding them can bring a lot of comfort and clarity. Knowing where you are on the map can help you keep going. Recognition. This is the first, often hardest step. It's when you finally acknowledge that something isn't right. It might be a whisper, a nagging feeling, or a sudden realization. This stage requires courage because admitting you need help, even to yourself, can be scary. Acceptance. Once you recognize the problem, the next step is to accept it. This doesn't mean you like it or that you're giving up. It means you're accepting that this is your current reality, and from this place of acceptance, you can begin to make changes. Fighting against it only exhausts you. Adjustment. This is where the real work begins. You start to adjust your habits, your thoughts, your behaviors. This might involve therapy, medication, new self-care routines, or changing your environment. It's about actively implementing strategies to improve your situation. It can feel awkward and uncomfortable at first, like trying on new shoes. Growth. As you consistently make adjustments, you'll start to see growth. You'll develop new coping skills, gain insights into yourself, and build resilience. You might notice you're handling stress better, your mood is more stable, or your relationships are improving. This is where you see the fruits of your labor. Transformation. This is the ultimate stage, though it's not necessarily an end point. Transformation means you've integrated your healing journey into who you are. You've learned from your experiences, and you've emerged stronger, wiser, and with a deeper understanding of yourself. You're not just coping, you're thriving, and you're equipped to navigate future challenges with greater confidence. It's important to be patient with yourself through these stages. There will be good days and bad days. Sometimes you might feel like you're going backward. That's okay. Healing is a process, not a destination. When the waves get too big, coping with overwhelm and breakdowns. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, the waves of life can just get too big and we feel like we're drowning. Terms like mental breakdown or nervous breakdown are often used, even though they're not formal clinical diagnoses. What they describe, however, is a very real experience, a period of intense emotional distress where an individual feels unable to cope with daily life stressors. It's like your brain's circuit breaker just flips. If you or someone you know is experiencing this, please know you are not alone, and there are absolutely strategies that can help you navigate through it. Prioritize self-care again. In these moments, it's about the basics: sleep, hydration, simple nourishment. Don't aim for perfection, just survival. Seek immediate professional help. This is not the time to tough it out. Reach out to a doctor, a mental health hotline, or an emergency service if you feel unsafe. They can provide immediate support and help stabilize the situation. Engage calming activities. Deep breathing exercises are incredibly powerful. Simple mindfulness techniques, like focusing on your 5 senses, can ground you. Listening to soothing music, spending time in nature if safe and accessible, or gentle movement can provide a sense of relief. It's about activating your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. Build a support network. Lean on trusted friends, family, or support groups. Let them know what you're going through. Having people who can offer emotional support, listen without judgment, or even help with practical tasks can make a world of difference. You don't have to carry this burden alone. Understanding more complex territories: psychosis, schizophrenia, and mania. Sometimes mental health challenges can involve experiences that feel very different from typical anxiety or depression. These are often more severe and require specialized understanding and care. We're talking about things like psychosis, schizophrenia, and manic episodes. Psychosis is a significant mental episode where an individual experiences a loss of touch with reality. This can involve hallucinations, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, or feeling things that aren't actually there. Often these are auditory, like hearing voices, delusions, strong, false beliefs that aren't based in reality and can't be reasoned away. For example, believing you're being spied on, or that you have special powers. Disordered thinking, difficulty organizing thoughts, speaking coherently, or following a conversation. During a psychotic break, a person may have extreme difficulty distinguishing between what is real and what is not, leading to a distorted perception of the world. It's a very frightening experience for the individual and their loved ones. Schizophrenia is a chronic mental disorder characterized by recurrent episodes of psychosis, along with other symptoms like diminished emotional expression, lack of motivation, and social withdrawal. While it's a complex disorder, there are often early warning signs that can indicate its presence, and early intervention is crucial. Social withdrawal or isolation, a significant and persistent pull away from social interactions. Changes in behavior or personality, uncharacteristic behavior, odd mannerisms, or a noticeable shift in how they typically act. Experiencing persistent or unusual beliefs or perceptions. This could be mild paranoia, strange ideas, or reporting unusual sensory experiences that aren't typical for them. If you notice these signs, especially in a young person, seeking a professional evaluation is paramount. Early treatment can significantly improve outcomes. Then we have manic episodes, which are a characteristic feature of bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is a mood disorder where individuals cycle between periods of extreme highs, mania or hypomania, and extreme lows, depression. During a manic episode, a person might experience elevated mood, feeling unusually euphoric, elated, or irritable. Increased energy levels, feeling boundless energy, needing little to no sleep. Racing thoughts, thoughts moving incredibly fast, making it hard to keep up. Impulsivity, engaging in risky behaviors, spending sprees, reckless decisions. Decreased need for sleep, feeling fully rested after only a few hours of sleep. Manic episodes can be exhilarating initially, but often lead to significant distress and negative consequences. Again, professional help is essential for managing bipolar disorder. Psychosis itself often unfolds in stages, with stage 1 being the early phase. During this stage, individuals might experience subtle changes, mild hallucinations, or unusual beliefs, difficulty organizing thoughts, but not full disorganization, a general sense of unease or confusion, recognizing and intervening. During this early stage is incredibly important to prevent the progression of psychosis and provide appropriate support. Taming the mind, overthinking, and anxiety. Let's shift gears to two very common challenges that many of us face: overthinking and anxiety. While they can be part of broader conditions, they often show up in our daily lives as standalone struggles. Overthinking is that relentless loop in your head, replaying conversations, worrying about future scenarios, analyzing every little thing. It's like your brain just won't shut off. It can lead to increased stress and anxiety. To stop overthinking, it helps to practice mindfulness and grounding techniques. Bring yourself back to the present moment. Focus on your breath, the sensations in your body, or the sights and sounds around you. This disrupts the thought loop. Engage in diverting activities. Get up and do something. Exercise, hobbies, spending time with loved ones. Anything that pulls your focus away from the relentless thoughts. Challenge negative thoughts. Are your thoughts truly facts, or are they just stories your mind is telling you? Ask yourself, is this helpful? Is this true? What's another way to look at this? Sometimes, simply acknowledging the thought and letting it pass, rather than engaging with it, is enough. Set a worry time. Designate 15 to 30 minutes a day to actively worry. If a worry pops up outside that time, tell yourself, I'll think about this during my worry time. This can help contain the overthinking. Anxiety is that feeling of unease, worry, or fear, ranging from mild nervousness to a full-blown panic attack. It's our body's natural alarm system, but sometimes it gets stuck in the on position. To calm anxiety, there are various effective strategies. Deep breathing exercises. This is your superpower. Techniques like diaphragm breathing, belly breathing, or box breathing. Inhaling 4 seconds, holding 4 seconds, exhaling 4 seconds, holding 4 seconds, can regulate your nervous system and activate your relaxation response almost immediately. Regular physical activity. As mentioned before, it burns off excess adrenaline and releases calming neurochemicals. Mindfulness and meditation. These practices train your brain to be present, reducing the focus on future worries or past regrets that often fuel anxiety. Balanced lifestyle. This includes consistent sleep, good nutrition, and limiting caffeine and alcohol, which can exacerbate anxiety. Seek therapy counseling. Cognitive behavioral therapy is particularly effective for anxiety, helping you identify and change negative thought patterns and behaviors. Remember, these are tools. The more you practice them, the more effective they become. It's about building a consistent habit of caring for your mind, the power of connection, and moving forward. So we've covered a lot today, haven't we? From the different facets of mental health to recognizing signs, exploring healing journeys, and understanding more complex conditions, right down to everyday struggles like overthinking and anxiety. The central thread through all of this is that your mental health is a vital, dynamic part of who you are. It's not always easy. There will be ups and downs, but here's the most important takeaway. You are not alone in this. Reach out for help. Whether it's a friend, family member, support group, or a mental health professional, connection is key. Practice self-compassion. Be as kind to yourself as you would be to a friend going through a tough time. Embrace the journey. Healing is a process, and every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Your mental well-being is worth investing in. It's worth talking about. It's worth prioritizing. Because when your mind is well, you're better equipped to live a full, meaningful, and joyful life. Thank you for joining me today on Unfiltered Reflections. I hope this conversation has given you some valuable insights, some tools, and most importantly, a sense of hope. Remember, each person's journey is unique, and seeking professional guidance is always beneficial in addressing specific mental health concerns. Check out our latest blogs here at our website at Deszicakes.com.